Hey everyone, you know what's exhausting about traditional AI? You have to tell it everything, like literally every single thing. Write this, then wait for it to finish. Now do that, then wait again, and then next step, wait, now do this other thing. Over and over, you know the feeling. It's exhausting. Ugh, so many instructions. It's like micromanaging an assistant who can't think for themselves. Have you ever wondered how AI could actually think and act on its own without you telling it what to do every single step? That's exactly what Agentic AI does. And honestly, it's got up changing everything about how we work with artificial intelligence. Or at least, I think it is. So let me walk you through it. Today, I'm breaking down what Agentic AI is, the actual concept, how it works, the technical side, and why it matters in a way that actually makes sense. Or, I'll try my best to explain it clearly. Alright, let's dive in. So, what exactly is Agentic AI? But first, let's talk about traditional AI for a second, because the contrast here is important. Traditional AI is reactive. You give it a prompt, it gives you a response. That's the basic pattern. Think of it like a smart assistant that waits for you to ask questions. You say, hey, write me an email, and it writes it, just like that. Summarize this document. Done. Simple, right? Works perfectly for what it is. And don't get me wrong, that's powerful. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, incredibly useful tools. I use them all the time. But here's the thing. They need you to drive every step of the way. But Agentic AI, it's different. It's proactive. It can learn, set goals, make decisions, and take action on its own without you holding its hand. And when you think about that, it's pretty wild. Let me break that down. First, it learns. Every interaction makes it smarter. It remembers what worked, what didn't, and adapts over time. And that conscious learning, that's what makes everything else possible. Second, it sets goals. It actually understands what you're trying to achieve and keeps that objective in mind. It's not just blindly following instructions. It's working toward an outcome. There's real intention behind it. Third, it generates ideas. This isn't just execution. It thinks, it explores different approaches, proposes solutions, and sometimes even suggests things you hadn't considered. Fourth, it makes decisions. When there are multiple paths forward, it evaluates them and chooses the best one on its own. No need to stop and ask permission at every single step. And fifth, and this part really matters, it takes action. It doesn't just plan or recommend, it actually does things. It updates systems, sends notifications, triggers workflows, it gets stuff done. And when you put all that together, learning, goal setting, creativity, decision making, execution, that's what makes it agentic. The word agentic comes from agency, meaning the ability to act independently. It's like that coworker who just gets it. You explain the goal once and they figure out the rest. You know the type. So let's sum this up with a quick comparison. On the left, you've got traditional AI. It's reactive, basic, waits for your commands. You ask a question, it gives you an answer. You tell it to search, it searches. Simple interaction. One prompt, one response. That's it. But on the right, Agentic AI. This is where things get interesting. It's got intelligence, yes, but also agency. It can think and act. It uses tools, coordinate between systems, gets things done. It works in cycles, perceives, reasons, acts, learns, continuously improving. It's powered by advanced models and planning capabilities. And here's the kicker. It's fast, it scales, it executes complex workflows autonomously. Traditional AI, great for answering questions. Agentic AI, built for getting work done. That's the difference. Okay, so we know what Agentic AI is conceptually, but what exactly is an AI agent? Like, what is the actual thing we're talking about here? I think the best way to picture is an intelligent coordinator that sits in the middle between you and all your tools and orchestrates everything for you. Here's how it works. You send it a prompt, maybe something like research our top 3 competitors and summarize their pricing strategies. The agent receives that request and immediately gets to work. It understands what you need using natural language processing. Then it generates a task list, breaks that big complex goal into smaller, manageable steps. But here's where it gets interesting. The agent doesn't do everything itself. Instead, it coordinates with different tools. It might send an NLP query to a large language models to understand industry context and what makes a good competitive analysis. The LLM sends back a model's response with insight. Then it could send code to the code executor, maybe to scrape competitor website, parse pricing data, or run analysis. The executor runs that code and sends back the results. And if it needs raw data, it sends a data query to databases, documents, or the web. They respond with the information it needs. All of these actions happen autonomously. The agent sits in the center, orchestrating everything. It understands natural language, generates the task list, executes and coordinates between tools. Then it takes all those responses from the LLM, from the code executor, from the data sources, synthesizes everything, and delivers you one complete polished response. That's an AI agent. It's the intelligent coordinator that makes everything happen. Whether it's a robot using cameras and sensors to navigate a warehouse, or a software agent pulling data from APIs and databases. The principles is basically the same. It perceives, decides, and acts, all on its own. Here's an example. Imagine you're using your phone to look something up. Maybe you're researching competitors, checking prices, or trying to gather information across multiple websites. You know the drill. Normally, you would have to open each browser, switch tabs, search manually, click links, read pages, and then repeat the whole cycle over and over. It's kind of exhausting, honestly. But with Agentic AI, things work very differently. Here's where the agent steps in. Instead of waiting for you to give it instructions one task at a time, the AI autonomously analyzes what you're trying to achieve, just figure this out. It identifies the goal, plans the steps, and executes them all by itself. No hand-holding required. The Agentic AI automatically opens the right sources, scans websites, pulls relevant information, and filters out the noise. And you don't have to tell it what site to check or what keywords to type. It explores the internet like a real digital assistant that can actually think, not just react. If the task requires it, the agent retrieves data from your internal systems, APIs, or external databases. It doesn't wait for you to say, now fetch this dataset, or now query the API. It already knows. That's part of the mission. The agent doesn't stop after gathering information. It synthesizes everything and takes the next best action toward your goal. That could be comparing prices, monitoring competitors, scraping online reviews, tracking global trends, preparing insights for your team. It's like having a coworker who takes initiative instead of waiting for instructions, all without you micromanaging a single step. This is the power of Agentic AI. It doesn't just answer your prompt. It understands your objective, plans the workflow, gathers data, connects systems, and acts until the goal is achieved. This is not just AI that responds. This is AI that works alongside you. Before we go deeper, let's talk about what actually makes Agentic AI tick. There are four key components working behind the scenes, four main pieces really. First, large language models. These are the brains of the operation, literally the foundation. Think of them as massive neural networks. We are talking billions of interconnected nodes, trained on huge amounts of text. They understand language, what words actually mean, context, how ideas relate to each other, and through all that processing, can generate human-like responses. This is basically the foundation that gives Agentic AI its intelligence, the core, if you will. Second, planning modules. This is what lets the AI break big goals into smaller steps. Imagine you ask it to plan a product launch. It doesn't just give you a generic answer. It creates an actual step-by-step roadmap. Research competitors, define target audience, create marketing materials, schedule posts. You get the idea. It's like having a project manager inside the AI, which is pretty useful actually. Third, memory. Just like us, Agentic AI needs to remember two different types of memory actually. Short-term memory helps it keep track of what's happening right now, like remembering the context of your conversation, what you just said, what it just answered, the flow of the discussion. Long-term memory lets it learn from past experiences, stores successful approaches, remembers what worked and what didn't, so it gets better over time. Without memory, every interaction would start from zero, not ideal. Fourth, tool use. This is where it gets really powerful. Perhaps the most powerful part, honestly. Agentic AI can reach out and use external tools, all kinds of them, actually. APIs for connecting to external services, databases for accessing structured data, web searches for real-time information retrieval, and software application for task automation. It's not trapped in its own world. If it needs to check the weather, send an email, or pull data from your database, it can actually do that. Just does it. These four components working together, that's what transforms a chatbot into an actual agent. Alright, so what actually makes Agentic AI special? What sets it apart? Let me break down the four key characteristics. First, proactive. Agentic AI doesn't wait around. It anticipates problems before they happen, which is huge, really changes how systems work. Imagine a supply chain system. A traditional platform tells you when something's delayed. Okay, fine. Reactive problem solving. But Agentic AI, it sees bad weather coming, predicts the delay, and automatically reroutes shipment before it's even a problem, before you even know there's a problem. Second, adaptable. These systems learn and adjust to their environment. They're flexible. Let's say you have a customer service bot. A generic one gives canned responses. Pretty basic stuff. But an agentic AI system working in healthcare. Now that's operating at a completely different level. It understands medical terms, follows regulations, and adapts to each patient's unique situation. It's smart enough to handle what it hasn't seen before, which is kind of remarkable when you think about it. Third, collaborative. Agentic AI works with humans and others' AI agents. It plays well with others, basically. For example, in cancer treatment planning, one AI agent might gather patient history, another analyzes treatment options, and a third coordinates with doctors. They all work together like a team. Fourth, specialize. Instead of one giant AI trying to do everything, Agentic AI uses multiple expert agents. Each one focuses on what it's best at. Makes sense, right? Think of it like a company. You don't have one person doing accounting, marketing, and engineering. That would be chaos. You have specialists. Same idea here. One agent handles fraud detection, another does compliance, another optimizes investment. Together, they're incredibly powerful. So, where is this actually being used? Let me show you 5 real examples. Let's start with research and development. Agentic AI can scan thousands of research papers, summarize the findings, and even suggest hypotheses or experiments, cutting down weeks or months of manual work. Next is code transformation. Companies are using agentic AI to modernize legacy systems. It can analyze old code bases, sometimes even COBOL, propose a migration plan, generate modern code, and dramatically speed up what used to take months. Now imagine incident response. When something breaks, like a system outage or a security alert, an agent can investigate the issue, gather logs, trigger safe recovery actions, draft an incident report, and notify the right people automatically. In customer service, agentic AI can handle most issues instantly. It searches help articles, pulls customer context, and resolves common problems on the spot. And when it can't, it hands everything over to a human with all the context already prepared. And in financial services, multiple agents can work together. One monitors transactions for fraud signals, another checks compliance rules, another helps analysts with risk insights, all happening in near real time. Alright, so how does agentic AI actually work? Like, mechanically speaking, most agentic systems follow a simple cycle: perceive, reason, act, and learn. Let me walk you through it. First, perceive. The agent gathers data from everywhere: databases, APIs, documents, you name it. It's pulling together all the information it needs to understand what's going on. Next comes reasoning. This is where the AI actually thinks. It uses large language models, those powerful AI brains we talked about earlier, to analyze the situation, decide what needs to be done, and build a plan. This is the strategy phase. Then comes action. The agent executes that plan. It might update a database, send an email, trigger a workflow, reschedule a task, or interact with other systems. Whatever needs to happen, it does it. Finally, learning. After taking action, the agent evaluates the outcome. Does it work? What could be improved next time? It learns from the result and adjusts its behavior going forward. And then the cycle repeats: perceive, reason, act, learn, over and over, getting better each time. That's the key. Now I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Agentic AI isn't perfect. Not even close. There are real challenges. First, system design. Building multiple agent systems is generally complex. You need the right architecture, proper coordination between agents, and deep domain knowledge. This is cutting-edge technology, and that means it's hard to design well, really hard. Second, testing and debugging. When an agent makes a mistake, figuring out why isn't always obvious. Because it operates autonomously, you need strong traceability, a way to follow its decisions step by step. Think of it like breadcrumbs you can trace back after the fact. And third, trust and transparency. AI can hallucinate. It can sound confident while being wrong. And in areas like healthcare, finance, or security, that's a serious problem. Mistakes have real consequences, so trust isn't automatic. It has to be earned, period. But here's the thing. These challenges are being worked on every day. The technology is improving fast, faster than you might think. And some of the best tools for actually building agentic AI are already out there, ready to use. If you're interested in getting started, Amazon has some powerful options, some really good ones, actually. Amazon Bedrock lets you build AI agents that can remember context, collaborate with other agents, and come with built-in security. Pretty comprehensive. AWS Transform is specifically for code transformation, migrating old applications automatically with specialized AI agents. If you've got legacy code, this is huge. Amazon Q Business puts agentic AI in the hands of every employee. You can create lightweight AI apps that automate repetitive tasks and work with your existing enterprise software. No need to rebuild everything. These tools make it way easier to get started without building everything from scratch, which is kind of the point. So there you have it. Agentic AI in a nutshell. It's proactive, adaptable, collaborative, and specialized. It's already transforming industries like healthcare, finance, customer service, and software development. The list goes on. The technology isn't perfect yet, but it's getting better very fast. And honestly, I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. There's so much more coming. If you found this helpful, drop a like, subscribe for more deep dives like this, and let me know in the comments what would you use Agentic AI for. I'm genuinely curious to hear your ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.